What's up, guys? Welcome back to Skotcast, episode 4. I know you guys thought this was a joke, probably. Now we're 4 episodes in.
4 episodes in. Todd is now here full time. The prank is over, and we have our full podcast team.
We're keeping the name Skotcast. I know it doesn't sound as cool as Toddcast, or it doesn't really make as much sense as probably being called Jeffcast because he talks the most. But the name came from when Scott was in a cast, and my career kind of blossomed in that time. It was a beautiful time, but also a horrible situation. It was kind of like an earthquake, like how a horrible thing can happen, and then other things like tsunamis blossom out of that earthquake. So me now being here and having a voice, having a podcast, and people to influence to do things is kind of equally as damaging as an earthquake or a tsunami.
I was going to say, have you guys ever had fond memories of not so great times? The other day, I was going to sleep, and I was thinking about how I broke my ankle, and I missed that time period where my ankle was broken. And I was not having a good time when my ankle was broken, but for some reason, I just missed the past, basically.
Kind of like when Jeff was an alcoholic and he was kind of fun, like those kind of times.
Do you miss those times?
It's beautiful that you could think like that. You turn a negative situation into a positive. That's great.
Sure, I turned my negative situation into a positive, but it made me feel worse about where I am now. It's like I really liked when I had a broken ankle. Now I feel shitty.
Do you miss maybe you weren't completely sad, but say the sadness of the time that you experienced?
Yeah, I think I'm definitely happy being sad. Makes me happy to be sad.
I know what you mean, man. I feel horrible. I woke up today feeling like I had a hangover. My high on sobriety has passed, and now it's kind of just blending into regular life. So I don't really feel like, oh, I'm all cool because I'm sober now and I'm feeling great. Could have something to do with all the candy I ate last night, though. It was pretty rough. I have other vices now.
Candy.
What are your vices? Chocolate?
Yeah, man, I feel embarrassed when I buy this junk food. I buy donuts, I buy candy, Skittles, Swedish Fish. It's embarrassing, dude. I walk into a store, I feel like I'm buying drugs.
This one time we're at iPic watching a movie. It was Jeff, me, and Jay, I believe. And Jeff went through 2 bags of Swedish Fish, and he was hurting on the way home the next morning. I'm like,
yeah, I had a hangover the next day from eating candy. I eat that much candy that I almost give myself diabetes. I ordered Postmates, and the Postmates guy, he recognized me, and he goes, "Oh, I know you, Jeff's Barbershop." I was like, "Fuck, man, I'm fucking caught." It was so embarrassing.
So wait, when I saw your ache in your stomach, the first thing that popped in my head was, I got him. I know how to beat him. We're going on a hike, we race. I give him some Swedish Fish before.
Yeah, I'm an addict. That's like giving a heroin addict heroin, just giving me Swedish Fish. It could really bring me back to a horrible time in my life.
We were in Vegas this week, and we were sitting at the table all drinking, and you were there with a plate full of candy that you just bought from the place next door.
Yeah, I pulled out a goodie bag. I had a goodie bag of drugs.
You guys went to Vegas last week, right?
We went to Vegas. I actually saw Scott there. I forgot that we even talked about the podcast. We had such a good conversation, and I completely forgot about all of it.
Not to bring the great time to a damper, but I was in my house. I was editing a video, and Jason comes in really quick, grabs a bag, and he's about to leave. I'm like, "Oh, where are you going?" He's like, "Oh, we're going to Vegas." I'm like, "Oh, who?" He's like, "Oh, me, Jeff, and David." I checked my phone. Oh shit, I didn't get a text.
You were very upset about that.
I wasn't upset. I was just like, I'm kind of used to it now.
Well, you made me feel bad, and you had a trip planned the next day to leave. So all of that energy you took out of me, because I'm very caring. I might seem like an asshole and I'm very sarcastic on the podcast, but I do care about you a lot.
Jeff does care.
And you stressed me out a lot for no reason because you already had a ticket bought for the next morning.
But no one knew that. See, I did have a trip planned the next day.
Yeah, that's fucked up. So you're the evil one in the whole situation, dude. You're not getting sympathy from us.
David planned this trip. Nobody knew about my trip the next day. Nobody.
So you felt betrayed because you didn't get invited.
Betrayed by my former friend, ex-lover, David, who has now moved on to someone else, and I just didn't get the text, and so I was
dude, you also got to take into consideration you have a girlfriend now, and you spend a lot of time with her, so you have to let us know when your schedule frees up and you're available to come on spontaneous trips like that.
You have my schedule on Google Calendar, I thought.
No, I don't have that. That's a made-up thing.
That's something that most people feel a lot of the time. It's like wanting that invite, even if they have no desire to go somewhere. I feel it as well. You guys went to Jake Paul's party the other night, right?
Oh, yeah. We had a great time there, man. That was like the Oscars for David because it's all YouTubers and it's all people that know all about YouTube. So every girl there was flocking to David. I overheard 2 girls walk behind me because they saw David and they're like, "Oh, my God, that's David. Go talk to him." And the girl was like, "No, he's going to come to me." And I was, Zane and I were dying. That kid's got the world at his fingertips, man.
David literally has all these girls just trying to hang out with him. He's just, no. I'm like, "I'm good, thanks."
Well, he's still a child.
It's kind of like he runs LA almost, you know?
Yeah.
That was so lame.
You should
I
have
take that back.
David does run LA.
He does kind of in a way, but he is very humble about it. He still acts like a child. He still treats Jason like his father, I guess his temporary LA father. He went to Starbucks. He had a coffee for the first time. It's so nice to see him grow up and become an adult. But he still got a sippy cup, one of these. It was the funniest thing. He needed his sippy cup. He requested it from Jason. And it was the funniest thing. It was like 7 a.m. We're getting on the plane. And he's like, "Oh, can I have a coffee?" And he asked Jason, like, he's asking his dad, "Oh, can I have a coffee? And please get a sippy cup."
He didn't invite me to Vegas or to Jake Paul's party. He didn't even know I was out of town. He still didn't invite me.
It's one of those moments where like I wouldn't have probably gone, but I was like, oh wow, I didn't know that they were going to this party. How come I didn't even know about it? I think it's a problem for me, my mindset of being like, oh, I feel left out, but like I leave myself out of things. Like I'm like I didn't have the desire to go. I didn't hit people up and say like, what are you guys doing tonight? So like it's on me. It's not on anyone else, you know?
Well, it was a great time, and you guys would have loved it. I just saw in the news today that there were cases of girls being drugged there and stuff like
I
that.
saw that as well on Keemstar's Twitter actually.
Yeah,
That's fucked up.
you had to like sign a waiver when you got
That's-
there, but that's like any big party, you gotta cover your ass, you know.
There was like fire truck companies posting on Instagram saying that they were busy all night transporting either 8 or 15 different girls who were supposedly date rape drugged or something like that to the hospital. Like they were going back and forth from the house to the hospital.
I had a great time at Jake's. It was unfortunate that something bad happened and his name got associated with it. I doubt he was there or had anything to do with that stuff. He was so busy. He must have had like over probably 1,500 people at his house.
Nuts.
So it's hard to pay
Designer
attention.
was there. Did he perform?
I think so. We had to leave early because we had to get to another birthday party. But we got a busy schedule, man.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we had to get out of there right before the dirt bike jump, which I was so mad that we had to leave and we couldn't see the dirt bike jump.
Did
but
you box?
No, I saw they had boxing
Yeah.
afterwards, and we missed all that.
I saw that too.
You missed the good stuff.
Jeff is a really good boxer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty good. I haven't fought like in actual boxing matches,
I don't do any boxing. I'm a lover, not a fighter. None of that stuff.
but you're going to Ireland to visit your family. That's gonna be great, dude. You're gonna find out where that red beard comes from. He just looked at me like I've never seen Scott. Like, okay, motherfucker.
I'm going to go see my family.
Scott's stepdad is from Ireland.
My stepdad is from Ireland. My grandmother's parents are from Ireland as well. So I'm like 50% Irish blood, but I wouldn't consider myself Irish because I was not born in Ireland.
But Scott's stepdad, John Joe, is a riot. He's the coolest guy ever. He'd be working late at the bar, and then Scott and myself and some friends would get into trouble when no one was home.
His house would be the pregame house. So all the friends would come over. We'd pregame. We'd play strip pong in the garage.
This one night, there was this big party at our friend's house, right? And then it got rolled, as I guess we used to say, by the cops.
It was rolled at like 10 o'clock. It was 5 minutes after we got there, and it was for one of our friends' birthday parties. And as we were leaving, someone said, "Party back at Scott's house." And since so many different people had come over to my stepdad's house to pregame at different moments of time, they all knew where I lived. And everyone from this big party that just got rolled ended up showing up at my house. But I parked around the corner because I heard someone say that. I was like, I'm going to act like I'm not home so no one can get into my house. And I parked around the corner at the park and walked up to my house, and the door was open, and there was like 100 people inside my house before I was even home. My stepdad was out of town when this happened. When he came back, we had cleaned up thoroughly, really thoroughly cleaned up, but we missed some spots. And he came back, and there was vomit in vases and all this crazy stuff that I didn't catch, and I was kicked out. I could not live there anymore. The trust was gone.
It was a good night.
That's a very good story, Scott. I noticed you said you have a stepdad. What was it like when your parents got divorced? How did that affect your childhood?
Why was that so funny? That was a very good story, Scott. It was like a 5-minute story. You're like, you said you have a stepdad. That's all I got from
Let's
that
get
story.
into the juicy stuff here.
Jeff's-
We could
Jeff's-
catch up about our week
His
later on.
retention isn't very good. He just heard stepdad.
Yeah, so your parents got divorced at a young age. Was it? What age was it?
I was about 10 or 8, 9, 11. I don't know. I can't remember. It was a long time ago.
There's a lot of alcohol, Scott. So he
Yeah, I was like
remember.
10 years old drinking.
You started
heavily.
drinking alcohol at 10?
No, actually, I was 17. I was just making a joke. Bad joke.
Okay.
But
No. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at you guys, man. And those old stories, you got to shitting all over everything and pissing on everything.
I
You know.
had a very healthy like parents splitting sort of thing, in my opinion. My parents stayed friends, my dad and mom. I would stay weekdays at my mom's and weekends at my dad's, and it was interesting. It's kind of a pain in the ass to pick up and move your stuff every week, but you know they were still very loving parents, and it was a good child life.
I always thought the kids with divorced parents were always the cooler kids growing up. Maybe just because they had a little edgy side to them. I would pretend like I was one of those kids, but my parents have a very happy, long relationship. They've been together for 40 years or something like that.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah,
that's
I know.
So weird.
That's weird, man.
That's really odd to say. Here.
Yeah, I haven't even been alive for that long, and I haven't done the same thing for longer than 6 months. This podcast is going to top off at 3 months, I'm thinking.
You had a good childhood?
No, I still had a
clear.
very rough childhood in and out of jail from 14 on. Actually, younger than that. Damn. Yeah, but no, good parents. I just don't know what went wrong. Something horrible, probably. We'll get to that.
Well, you turned out
6 or 7.
You turned out just fine. Good looking, handsome.
Thank you, guys. I owe it all to you too. You're a great inspiration on my life. Look at how Nerf's just chilling over there. That's great. Good boy, Nerf. You're a good
Nerf
boy.
Is not so nervous right now. He is feeling the vibes of the thighs, the thigh vibes.
Todd, you said that my face looked a little chubby today, and I did eat a lot of donuts and candy last night. Were you being serious about that?
Honestly, I wasn't being serious. I was just trying to rile you up.
Okay, well,
and it worked.
It worked.
It worked
affected
earlier.
me.
I know.
Now I get why all the comments get to you, because you gave me a tiny little taste there because I said you looked like you had a healthy gut going on. And that was meant as a compliment. It was like back in the old days, kings had big guts and women were attracted to them because they had power and money. They could eat whenever they want. So I was kind of referencing you're like a king almost.
Well, yeah, I took my shirt off. I am a little bloated. I just got back from vacation. I went to a festival. And so I was a little bloated. My insides have been kind of fucked up. And so that's why it was kind of, enlarged.
From what?
Just from eating a lot of food.
Oh, inflamed.
Enlarged, inflamed.
You're inflamed. Well,
So-
I meant it as a compliment.
Thank you.
And
Dude, they say anything about dudes with big tits? Were they kings as well? Because I have some of the largest breasts on a man that I've ever seen.
maybe you got a lot of estrogen in your body. Sometimes that happens with males that have a past history of taking steroids.
I don't have a past history of taking steroids. I thought when you said the estrogen thing, are you just calling
Jay?
me pussy?
Yeah, that's correct.
Jay, the steroid man, approves. He said you were injecting estrogen into your nipples in the past.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, whatever, dude. It's we could cut things out here, so we're fucking. It's not a real live podcast.
Can we cut the gynecomastia out of my tits? That'd be great.
Gynecomastia out of my tits.
Oscar, we need some surgery done, not just editing today.
Did you guys watch Game of Thrones last night?
Whoa,
I
we
know
can't
Jeff-
talk about Game of Thrones. We can't do that.
Jeff doesn't watch it, but this is not a spoiler. There was a coffee cup left in a shot.
Oh, I saw Zane's story. That was funny.
Yeah.
That stuff I could relate to, like continuity issues on
Mhm.
sets, but I can't get into the fantasy world that has no effect on real life.
I would have never spotted that coffee cup at all. That was ridiculous. I can't believe Zane saw it, but he does have, he pays very close attention to detail when it comes to
Yeah.
When it comes
either
to certain
editing or
things.
his favorite show.
But imagine having a set that takes place in a different time and you can't have anything. Look, we got a chainsaw over there in the background. I don't know if you could see it, but that was just randomly left out from a barbershop video. We don't pay attention to everything here. I could have some sort of contraband that could put me away in jail for life here, and I wouldn't even know.
Yeah, I think
So-
about that all the time when I leave my cocaine out and I'm filming a vlog and, it's just on my counter.
Or what about when, Scott, you're going through the airport and you leave your contraband in your bag and you're like, fuck, I forgot I had that in there, huh?
What kind of contraband you rolling with nowadays? Cocaine, guns?
Like the vibrating dildos that sometimes go off when you
Oh,
go through
okay.
security, stuff like that.
This one time I was going through security and I was feeling froggy. And I guess I think I took this too far, maybe. But the guy is patting me down and I'm like, damn, man, thank you. That's the most action I got all week. And he's like, what the fuck did you say to me?
Oh, they don't like that. Yeah.
Dude, he hated it. He was calling his boys over. He's like, this fucking guy, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, it was just a prank.
It's
just a
It's a prank, man.
Chill, man. It's just
No,
a
yeah,
prank.
So, yeah, he didn't like that at all. And then I told the story to another TSA agent weeks later, and he laughed. He thought it was cool. We're fine.
Some people just don't have a
Yeah.
sense of humor. Luckily, all of us guys here, we have a sense of humor.
We're-
So anything that is said to us, we just take it as a joke,
Oh,
even
yeah,
if it's
everything's
serious.
a joke, man. I'm doing a barbershop episode with this YouTube prankster, so I had to do research and watch all of his videos, and they're bad, dude. I felt like I got stupider every video. That's why I feel like I have a fog in my brain today from watching all this YouTuber fucking pranks, man. They're really, really bad, but I'm gonna torture the guy, so I think it'll be good.
Well, a lot of those things, they're really bad, but then they're also really fake. And there's so much fake stuff on the internet that I cannot believe that people believe. But there's a lot of stupid people out there.
That's why we're never gonna fake anything on this podcast. Everything you see here is real, uncut, and raw.
And these words that we're saying, we're actually saying them. You're
There's
not
no
imagining them.
teleprompter right there.
Dude, my mom watches these now, and she said I curse way too much as I said an F word in that. And I've been getting told when I'm out in public, like grown women would come up to me and say they listen to my podcast, which I guess it's all of ours, but I do have this one chair over here. So, but it is Scott's name.
It's my name. You got the single chair, so you look like the host.
We're compromising here. But like attractive adult women are listening to us for 40 minutes, and this is the type of shit we talk about. We don't have any plans.
I mean, we come in with a little bit of topics in mind. I wanted to talk about betrayal. You know, it's just like coming in here with a little bit of
I just want to say
what to talk about.
this podcast today is sponsored by Gothic Mochas. Go to gothicmochas.com.
You better chime in some money, dude, if you're going to use them as plugs.
Get your Toddy Mochas hoodies. They're in white with purple writing. We're going to get some hats pretty soon, so just check them out.
I'm sending a cease and
Gothic
desist to
Mochas,
your business partner on that if they don't pay us for this podcast.
I'm going to have to promote my company on the next podcast then, if this is the way we're going to do things.
Go check out Jeff's Barbershop. The merch is now available. If we're doing this shit, why not, bro? Fuck it, why not? Merch actually did really good, guys. Thank you. I'm going to put out more stuff like that because you guys are so supportive of me.
All right, did you see that Blank 182 is touring with Lil Wayne and Neck Deep?
What is this, a music podcast? Guys, I am doing a show on July 13th at the House of Blues. Todd is going to be playing piano there. Be sure to get tickets. Linked in the description below.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, we need to sell this out. So
podcasts have plenty of ads, man. I was over at Jake Paul's house on Saturday night. I don't know if I talked about this yet, but yeah, a lot of people were coming up to me offering me business deals they said they loved the podcast. They were like, we could give you $1 million. You can make $1 million by yourself next year. I was like, you know what? I'm loyal to my friends here. I turned down offers for $1 million.
We just said that nothing on this podcast is fake. Are you faking
You know what? I wish I was, but I like everybody in LA is bullshitters. But I did actually get offered $1 million. The kid was like, dude, you got to hear the CPMs. Like, don't tell anybody this, but I can make you $1 million on your own podcast next year. And fuck, he's probably going to watch this shit and be like, oh, Jeff was talking shit. But just everybody over there, it was just like YouTube Central, everything, social media, everything.
that sounds fucking awful.
What? $1 million?
No, not that part. Just like the YouTube Central.
It was a lot of small talk. I'm not going to
lot.
lie. It was a lot of people talking business when I just wanted to walk around the party and meet new
Instagram models
to potentially collaborate with or maybe have come on the podcast. Not for like nasty, dirty stuff. I don't do that.
No.
I genuinely don't. No, I know, like, I really don't.
No, but you also want to find her a new mom. And she has to have like a blue check mark next to her name.
He does want a blue check mark.
Because he wants one too.
How's he so tired and staying put? He never does that.
We just have a very relaxing vibe. I think it's our voices. It's our podcast voices making
I
him
usually
so
just blast
relaxed.
Joe Rogan when I leave the house so he smartens up and learns about the wilderness.
So, did you see Joe Rogan's little segment on James Charles?
No.
He said his daughter watches James Charles. Joe Rogan had no idea who he was.
Yeah.
And so he's like, this kid's fucking doing 10 times better than any network, and he's putting makeup on people, blah, blah. He was like, he had no idea like what was going on. It was pretty interesting.
When I first met James, I had no idea either. He asked for us to do a collaboration with the Vlog Squad. You guys were away on tour. I replaced you guys then for your guys' spot. So that's how I met James, was actually filling in for you guys. I was very impressed with James, how he is not only like a social media entertainer or whatever, content creator. He's a mogul, man.
Yeah.
All business.
He's not just a YouTuber. He's a 19-year-old fucking businessman to the max, right?
Man, what the hell are we doing?
Like James, half the time he's in laboratories. He's testing out makeup products. If it's not good enough, he's slapping around the employees. Get it done right. I've seen him assault employees because the thing was not
Next
up,
thing you
up
know,
to
he's going to
par.
have like a case on him because of Jeff said, I've seen him assault. Just like Jeff does to Oscar, you know? Oscar, I swear to God.
Yeah,
if
you
don't
have
do
to
this right,
you have to assault your employees if you want a good quality product.
you got to make it stick in their head. You got to be, no, I'm just kidding.
Just kidding, guys.
Just
James
kidding.
Charles did not assault anybody except for me when he chained me up in his house to make me stay there to do his videos.
Oh, boy.
Who do you think, look, there he is. He's up. He's up.
Hey, Nerf, how you doing?
Who do you think is going to ruin their career first with this podcast? I think most likely me. And then I'll drag these two down with me.
I think as a YouTuber and someone who puts everything on the internet, there's so much opportunity for us to ruin ourselves by saying something that on accident or anything.
I'm
Like
surprised-
before this in your vlog. Oh, I was cutting you off there, Todd.
No, you're good.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Is there something you wanted to say?
Oh, sit up.
Okay.
You
Oh, I have to sit
fucking
up.
clown.
yeah.
Are you okay?
No, but just before, earlier when you FaceTime, you said we got to make sure we don't cut each other
Wait,
off today.
What are you
I
talking
saw a lot of
about?
comments where you guys said that Jeff talks too much, he cuts everybody off, and get used to that because it's gonna keep on
You
happening.
should see when he
Jeff-
drives. He cuts people off as well. I just cut Todd off again. Nice. Go ahead, Todd.
Jeff is the worst fucking driver I've ever met. He's worse than David. If we almost died 5 times going to Coachella, but you know what? I was with one of my best friends, another best friend in the car, and if we fucking perished, I didn't give a shit.
Okay, 2 things my mom didn't like about the podcast. One was the cursing. One was her finding out that I drive crazy because she doesn't know. She thinks I'm just like how I drive with her in the car. You know, when you put your mom in the car, you're like,
Yeah.
actually, I would get a little crazy with her in the car too, but that's just like
Just
warming
to
her up.
get her going again.
Yeah, I'm out there racing people, Mom. I'm driving like I'm in Tokyo Drift, like I'm in Fast and the Furious, and I got Vin Diesel next to me every single day, even if I'm going somewhere and I'm early. Todd,
It's sold out.
how's things going with Olivia? How's your relationship going? Share
Great.
some of that private information.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to. I want to keep. What am I saying? The relationship kind of offline, more private, but it's great. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
We just went to a music festival together. Saw some of our favorite bands, and it was pretty cool.
Music festival. Again, I have a show coming out, House of Blues, and
Should we do embarrassing stories or should we do
I like this relationship thing. We can talk
illegal activities that we've done? I
Both.
haven't done a lot of illegal stuff lately, but
back in the day. Back
I mean,
in
like-
my day.
like recent stuff since I got into the social media world and I have to worry about my image and keeping everything clean and I can't have any new mugshots go out because, you know, David Dobrik will have a field day. It'll be all over the internet. Recently, on the way back from Vegas, Tana Mongeau was on our flight and she pulls out a weed pen and I was so like just burnt out because David asked me to come downstairs to film a bit and then he's like, "Whoa, we're going to Vegas." And then I'm like, "All right, well, fuck it. Can I change?" He's like, "No, you're fine. Just real quick." So I didn't plan on doing anything. I was going downstairs. And cut to I'm in Vegas 24 hours and he's like, "Yo, we can't sleep. We got to get on the next flight right now." So I'm like, "All right, well, whatever, fuck it." And then I'm on the Southwest flight and Tana's there and she pulls out a weed pen and she's just smoking it out in the open. I guess like they don't care if it's vape because it's like, you know, vapor, but it's still very illegal, right?
They always say, including no e-cigarettes.
So I was stressed and I was fed up and I'm like, "All right, whatever, pass me that shit." And I take a pull of it and then the flight attendant walks right over and I went right in my hoodie and just smoke was coming out everywhere. And dude, I don't know what this pen was. I don't smoke weed that often, but this shit made me think the plane was going to crash. I was like freaking out the whole time. Anytime a little bit of turbulence, I was like, fuck, this is it. This is how I'm going to die. I've never been paranoid like that from smoking weed. I was freaking out. When we landed, I didn't say goodbye to anybody. I just got in the car. I was like out stoned, man. Smoking weed on an airplane. I never thought it'd be that big a deal. With Tana Mongeau,
I think it's
fucking
Mojo. I thought that people said Mojo as a joke, but that's actually her last name is Mojo.
oh, it is Mojo. She's dating Jake Paul now.
Yeah, they're the new it couple. You saw them the other night. How they doing?
They're doing good, man. I respect those kids. They're
Yeah,
out there hustling.
I think they're perfect for each other. I just saw their photo with the Balenciagas and the
yeah, I
matching
commented
outfit.
on it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
said,
you guys
I
are
said you
perfect
guys
for
are
each other.
perfect. And then
Yeah.
I got a lot of replies. People didn't know if it was sarcasm or not. I truthfully don't even know if it was sarcasm or not because they are so problematic, but they are experienced and they know how to handle that stuff now, and they might be the perfect couple.
And they're like top dogs in their community.
Both have blonde hair.
blonde hair.
Both
That's
probably from middle America somewhere.
That's important for couples to last and be successful together is to have the same color hair.
I,
sure.
I
I
think
think so.
you're right.
That's why I'm gonna dye my hair purple.
Is that why you're going to Ireland? I'm sorry about the Ireland
I
stuff.
don't understand.
Why to
relevance.
find a red bearded woman?
A red-bearded woman, yes. I'm bringing my girlfriend with me. Maybe she'll grow one after drinking
I'm
some of the
sorry,
water.
Scott. These are horrible jokes. Like I said, I ate all that candy last night. I gave myself diabetes. It's affected my brain. Why are you going to Ireland though? Because we haven't talked about this. We haven't actually seen each other since the last podcast that we did together.
We went over this. We saw each other in Vegas just a few days ago.
Fuck, I forgot again, man.
It happens. I'm going to Ireland because Kristen and I talked about going to Ireland. It's, my family comes from Ireland. My stepdad
Oh, really? What a surprise, dude. You got a fucking red beard.
Dude, a lot of men have red beards.
I'm a
okay? Fuck off. This is the worst. You're
Sorry,
ganging up
I'm sorry,
on me.
I'm
I'm gonna
sorry.
switch. I'm
Scott,
gonna
you're the
fucking-
glue that
I'm
holds
gonna
this
tap
podcast
Jay
together.
in.
Scott just pulls out. You want me Lucky Charms?
You guys are fucking
Okay.
losers. I don't know what I just did. I have an itch in my nose.
So you're going to Ireland to trace back your DNA to find out where your family stems
Yeah,
from.
I'm trying to see like where it all began for me. Where did my alcoholism come from? You know, what are the exact roots of it, and like what castle was my family ruling over? Because I'm sure that they were rulers back in the day.
We're digging deep. So far we got it could possibly be from parents getting divorced early age, but you said you handled that well. Could just be from your Irish roots. Everyone there loves to drink, but they do it well and they manage their lives, and they didn't do it like how I used to do it, because I used to do it. I used to disappear, not get any work done. But in Ireland, they're professional boxers, professional athletes that are managing alcoholism.
They're starting alcohol companies while drunk.
Conor McGregor, he drinks his whiskey and he's a world-class fighter. Ricky Hatton, another boxer. These guys would have whiskey before they go out to fight, like almost an hour in a ring at high intensity, like cardio. It's
I mean,
crazy.
I feel like that's a tradition. You know, you drink a little bit, you kind of lose that tiredness because you don't know what your limit is anymore when you're drunk. You know,
I mean, you loosen up a little bit.
get a
And
little aggressiver,
speaking
more
of-
aggressive.
Speaking of Connor, which I love Connor, and I saw a tweet. Someone was talking about him fighting again, but fighting is like Connor's like third, fourth source of income.
yeah.
You know, which I think is fucking. It's so funny. And now
That's
his
like
num-
this podcast, man. This is my fifth, sixth, seventh
So
source of income
so
for me.
like,
It's
why would you
nothing.
put any effort into it?
It's
you know?
why I put nothing
It's
into
like,
it.
Fucking who cares?
Yeah, it's like Conor McGregor to the UFC. This is how I treat this podcast.
yeah.
Puts nothing into it. If you look at all this equipment over here, you got 4 cameras zoomed
Well, I
in.
throw a
on
little
us. He's-
money at it.
he
I
puts
throw a
sound
little money
panels on
towards
the
my
board.
friends. Let them make some. Yeah, the
It'll-
sound panels.
It'll come.
We got a high quality logo. There's so much that went into this podcast to make it great, and you're acting. You're playing it down. You're acting like we're not doing this shit for real.
You're right. It's a dark cloud that follows me everywhere I go. I just know that I have to do a podcast on Monday, and it just makes me really stressed out.
What brings you joy?
I love when I get a notification that I get a like from your Instagram
Okay.
accounts, you guys,
Yeah,
and
me
Zane. That really makes me happy because it's a 4-letter
Yeah.
Instagram, and it just makes you feel special.
That's like a study too, right? You know, the likes and shit releases endorphins in
Yeah.
your brain.
Mhm.
The more
I get high off of that shit. No, I'm kidding. I love going out in the wilderness and doing like nice outdoor like daytime activities. I like a nice little vacation. We should do that soon. A nice
Little
vacay.
vacation?
I get some joy when I get a check that I forgot was coming.
That's good too.
That's one of my favorite things. It's like finding $5 in your pocket, but now it's $50,000 for a job I did on. You know, I'm just kidding, not
Yeah,
that much, but
No, I agree. I did a thing for Netflix, and I got a check from them the other day, and I didn't even know they were paying me for it. I was just like so excited to do it and just say like I just
alright.
bragged to Todd like, "Yo, bro, I don't need this podcast anymore. I'm doing fucking Netflix things." And then I got a check from it too, and I'm like, "Wow, this is great, man." But what's going on with you, Todd? What's been what's been going on in your life? Because we had you on Suicide Watch last week. It was
what?
just a dark time,
What'd you
man.
say?
You could be a YouTuber, everything looks sweet and like
Yeah.
everything's great in their lives, but Todd was on Suicide Watch. We were all looking out for him.
No, it was fine. But honestly, I think lately, I'm not saying I'm bipolar or anything. I can't like say that I'm not a doctor.
I can say that you are.
But I go up and down very easily. Where I wake up one morning and I'm happy, or then I wake up the next morning I'm just like fucking just sad or pissed off for no reason. So
You
it's
wake
just,
up
like,
one
very-
morning happy, and 5 minutes later be sad or pissed off.
Yeah, it's true. If I get a text from you or Jeff or something like
Are
that.
you eating a lot
But
of Swedish fish at night?
no Swedish fish?
Okay.
But I have been, you know, I go on these hikes with you. I film videos with you guys, which don't bring me joy, but the hikes bring me joy.
Hikes really bring me joy
yeah,
too.
hikes because I mean we're outside, we're putting our body
Away from Scott. We're away from Scott.
yeah, and we went on more hikes when he broke his leg. And so,
I haven't seen Scott since the last podcast that we did.
You're right. You haven't, and we should have met up somewhere.
To maybe talk about topics for next week. But it's nice because it's fresh, you know? Like I haven't
Yeah.
seen him. I don't get sick of him. I kind of miss him a little bit. You too. I haven't seen you since last week, but you were on tour again with your girlfriend.
not tour. We're at a music festival.
Basically, more music festival.
But,
Be sure to check out our tickets for our show at the House of Blues in Anaheim, July 13th.
I hope it sells out after this podcast.
Did I tell you that adult women that are beautiful come up to me in public and say that they love the podcast?
It's so weird. No adult women have ever come up to me and said that about anything that I've ever done.
Yeah, I was at a nightclub and this girl came up to me. She said, I listened to all 3. And I was like, I didn't know what to say. I was like, sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. But we have an adult, beautiful female audience. And that's way doper than having like 12-year-olds like that listen to David, you know? Or like Impulsive or some shit.
You know,
like those are all like 7-year-old kids.
It always bothers people who do listen or view us when we say stuff about like, everyone who watches us is 12 years old, because there's so many people that are not 12 years old that are watching us, you know?
No, they're all women in their 40s that are very attractive.
Now
our audience.
Now we go on MadCon. All you guys are fucking beautiful, amazing, attractive men and women.
Middle-aged.
I was just listening to Cody and Noel's podcast about the MadCon kids, and it was so funny. Like, like, yo, girl, like to every like 15, 12-year-old girl, they'd be like, yo, girl, you're beautiful. Just like this, like kind of like demeaning thing. Like every girl, like, oh, you're so cute and sexy. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And like, did you listen to the podcast, Cody and Noel's, about it?
No, I haven't. I watched Cody's videos though, because I'm planning on having him on the barbershop show soon. So, and you did actually say when we started this, you were like, "Will you guys have any podcast experience? Or are you guys just gonna wing it? Like I've done podcasts before, so I know." And I'm like, "Okay, what fucking podcast have you done?" And then Cody, so I went and looked that one up. And you're very well spoken, Todd. That's why we thought about bringing you on.
I was talking to Jay earlier, and I think it would be really cool to have Cody and Noel on and do like a podcast where we're getting tips and shit from them on how to have the greatest podcast, because their podcast just won a Shorty Award for Best Podcast. Which means that we are a much taller podcast than Cody and Noel podcast.
Congrats to Cody and Noel on your tremendous award.
Yeah, that's fucking sick, man.
Yeah.
I love to see people come up in this world, because it's crazy how much money you could. It's still crazy that we could even make money from doing this. We're literally having a conversation. We'd be doing the same thing if we didn't have these mics.
With your deadbeat dog.
The fucking dog is bored to sleep.
We took a little pee break. They don't talk about that on podcasts, right? How does Joe Rogan do it with he does his like 3-hour podcast? Is he pissing? He probably has a catheter.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he pisses right where he's sitting.
Can we look that up? Like podcast penis tubes, catheters. I want them all hooked up to us.
And if we have to shit, we're just gonna shit right where we sit.
Bedpan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have Nerf clean it up.
Nerf's got a bedpan right outside. He's already on it. He's ahead.
Have you told the story about how you throw the piss off the balcony?
No. Oh, man. Should I? Is that even funny anymore? I think I told it too many times. So Nerf has this little grass pad that's like a little potty for him. The pee trickles down into a catch thing. But sometimes it fills up. And he's a pretty big boy, Nerf. He looks like he's a small little dog, but he's dense. And he's got a big bladder in there. He's a big tank. So he fills up this thing sometimes. And all like if I leave the door open, flies will just flock in here, and then you see him on camera and stuff. So I like to really clean it off every once in a while, and I'll just fling it off the balcony because it goes down into the alleyway. There's nobody down there, and it just goes back into the environment, back into the natural habitat.
It evaporates into the sky, into the clouds, and then it rains back down on your head. So don't drink rainwater, because that is Nerf's piss and shit.
That's right. It is all just Nerf's pee and poop.
And our podcast, we could change the name today to Shitcast. Last time we talked about Todd peeing his pants and shitting in his wetsuit. This time we're talking about us getting catheters to pee into and
Nerfcast. Can we do Nerfcast, or is that biased because he's my dog? Should we do Linkcast?
Nerf and Linkcast.
Just Link.
Well,
Nerf's been on camera enough, dude. Call it the Linkcast. Let's do Linkcast today, so we're not biased. I don't have the best dog. Everybody's dog's great.
You know,
back to the story with the pee. I threw the pee off the balcony. I didn't look down. I looked briefly, like just a quick little glance. The security guard that is my doorman that I see every single day when I walk in and out of my apartment, comes out from underneath it and gets drenched in the concentrated piss fluid, because it's not even just pee at this point. All the liquid evaporates out, so it's like concentrated piss formula that just landed right on this guy, and it's impossible to get off. Everything smells after. I felt horrible. I went down there. I gave the guy money and a new jacket, and he wouldn't accept any of it. Now I just have to see him every day.
Yeah,
and
I was coming up the other day. I'm like, oh, Jeff's apartment. And he just gave me the dirtiest look. Like I fucking.
He won't let it go, man.
Committed
I
some-
I put $100 bill in his pocket, and I try to give him clothes. I try so hard because I have to see this guy
You
every
know what
day.
you should do is give him a shout out or give him a haircut and do Jeff's barbershop with him.
No, dude, he's
Yeah.
got piss all over his head. I don't want to touch that.
You gave him the old Nerf golden shower, huh?
I feel horrible about it, but you know what? I try not to get bent out of shape about things I have no control over, and I can't go back and change it because you can't go back in time.
I wish we could go back and
No.
check time and fix things.
It would ruin where you're at right now.
Just keep turning the negatives into positives. That's the motivation for this Monday podcast.
Then that is some brilliant motivation. Also, it's just on the topic of peeing. I was at the beach one time, 4th of July, I believe. Todd, you might have been there. And a guy came up to me and he dug a hole in the sand and he pissed into the hole. And he's like, it's a secret, man. You got to just fucking do it. You just dig a hole, you stick your wiener right out of your shorts and you just piss, man.
Was
And
this Heath?
Heath
did that at Coachella.
Yeah.
He had us line up in a circle around him, and then he peed out the side of his shorts, right in the middle of the whole
You know what's
festival.
funny? I think I told this story to Heath at Coachella and he said it was a great idea.
Oh, so that's why he did it.
You know, he's a wild card because he'll drink his own piss.
That is insane, and he'll do it for no reason. Like not even like he's stranded out in the desert and drinks it. He'll
Yeah.
do it for like, oh, David, you need a vlog? All right, well, I'll drink my own piss. I'll eat my own shit. I'll fucking suck my own dick. Look at me now.
This is like my
Turn
own
into
dick.
Simon Rex.
Have you guys tried to suck your own dicks?
Yeah.
I actually haven't. I know Scott.
You actually haven't? No?
I haven't.
Never?
No.
Who hasn't tried to suck their
You
own
know,
dick?
I tried to see if I was flexible enough, but I couldn't get there.
I was a very flexible young lad back in the day. I was able to reach the tip of my penis. This is a weird story, but yeah, in the
Wow,
shower,
dude,
I ended
was
up.
gonna say like I do yoga, and I figured out like I could get close. I didn't actually.
I touched the tip one time, and then I was like, "That
Is that gay?
That is not something I want to do."
No, it's not. I
Because
mean,
it's your own dick.
I don't know. It's your own dick. I mean, you touch your own dick, and you know,
I guess you
take it
jerk off. You're not. It's not like jerking off
like-
a guy.
Yeah.
So you're in the clear, Scott.
Can we get brand deals with content like this if we're talking about sucking our own dick?
Yeah, of course you can. This better be left in, man.
Let's get some condom brand deals or some, like fucking. What else is there?
You know what? We already have such a clean image on everything else. I think we could sacrifice a few sucking your own dick jokes.
Sucking your own dick jokes.
Yeah.
You guys seen? They talk about that in Clerks. That's a good old movie. Have you seen Clerks?
I haven't in a long time, but Simon Rex told me specifically. I said, "Do you have any advice for the kids?" And he said, "If you wanna make money, don't say these things. If you wanna just like be funny, do it." So like, are we here for money or are we here to be funny?
Here for money.
Yeah. Cut it
Yeah.
all out, Oscar. Cut everything out. That's bad. Back to 5 minutes.
gonna
of
be
the
a-
podcast.
Yeah, 15-minute podcast.
I appreciate you coming here and still sticking to the plan, though.
Yeah, of course.
It really shows a lot of strength in you as a podcaster.
I look forward to these podcasts because we have to physically meet up and hang out with each other. Not like
I
during the
love
week, we
it for
barely
that
see each
reason as
other.
well.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I never get to see people a lot unless it is to do something productive, something work-wise. Why are you fucking smiling at me, Jeff? You son
Because
of a
I
bitch?
wanted to say it so bad. Dude, I repeat jokes, man. Like
gonna
my,
say something
I'm just
about
like
Ireland?
my dad. No, I was going to say how I haven't seen you since last podcast, but I got to stop saying the same shit because it's not funny to people. It's just funny that I repeat the same shit and it's a bad joke. Actually, maybe I do think I'm funny.
I did an audition for something once, and I repeated something like 20 times, like as a joke, and she's like, "Yeah, maybe don't say it more than once." I was like, "I was joking. It's not funny." Then no, it's not.
It's such a
funny.
dad thing to do to keep repeating something.
I think with our humor together, and then you have someone like in the professional world, and like you try to like be humorous in front of her, it
It
just
did not work.
Yeah, it doesn't work at all. But I would laugh.
Yeah, and then when I was leaving the audition, I was like, "I'm expecting that call back," and I knew I bombed it. I did an awful job, and she's like, "Okay, honey."
Dude,
I think it's funny the way social media has affected the world of acting and traditional things. Like, it's not necessarily about a look. It's not necessarily about how well you can act. You know, they want a little bit of both, but they really just want you for your following, as
Yeah.
long as you can do the job.
but social media has kind of like tarnished that now because I feel like when it first took off, they're like, oh, let's get this kid as an actor. Let's get this kid. He's a following. But now they hired those kids as actors, and some of them weren't so good.
Created a bunch of shit shows,
You know,
and now
And so now,
YouTubers as a whole, social media people, are not respected in that world anymore.
just kind of like, I mean, how is it like for you with music?
There's a huge stigma that every YouTuber creates songs as jokes, or they do them bad on purpose, or
Yeah.
they like anyone can make a song, so a lot of them come out bad, and a lot of people have no clue if their shit is bad because their audience loves it because they just follow them and they're like, oh, I'm gonna love anything you do because
That reminds me, Jason asked me to go on his stand-up tour with him and open for him. I would like to do that one day, but I don't want to get into something that is like a handout because it's all fans of ours there, and it would be too easy almost, like it's not like you have a risk of bombing because they'll like laugh at whatever you say when like people like you,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you go up there and you just say, my name's Jeff, and they'd be
I
fucking
know,
roaring
it'd
with
be
laughter.
like so easy. I would never grow as like a comedian or a creator or whatever.
See, I have a book coming out, and I'm nervous that people are gonna portray it as like this like YouTuber like autobiographical book. Like put my face on the cover. Oh, this is about me, but it's not like that at all.
What are
It's
some
completely
examples of like YouTubers that don't take their work serious, or like people that would be like considered like what
is
you
this,
said, like
a drama
YouTuber?
podcast? Is if we bring names into it, then
Like who
it's-
has like a book out that's a
There's
YouTuber?
plenty of them.
I can't say anything about anyone's books. 'cause
I actually haven't read
really
'em,
haven't
so,
read
but-
anyone's
Yeah.
books and stuff. But like music wise, there's so many YouTubers who put out songs and like they know they're just doing it for fun or they're just doing it for views, and the views don't lie. Like people can put out a joke song and get way more views and listens than something that's for real.
Yeah, like who? Like
Who? Even Jake Paul and Logan, and not like talking shit on it at all, but it's like a lot of the things that they put out was like, ha, that's
yeah,
funny,
they don't
you
take
know? Like,
themselves
yeah,
too
exactly.
serious.
So now there's a huge stigma for YouTubers as a whole. Whenever they do something, if they want to be taken seriously, they have to put 150 fucking % into it. You can't just do it.
And then you got the fake pranksters that we talked about earlier. That's what my whole yesterday was, just full of watching these bullshit fake pranks, man. And they made me want to blow my brains out.
The people that like they hire people to do a social experiment, but it's not a social experiment because you're dictating how that experiment goes by hiring people to react a certain way.
Yeah, you're manipulating how people live their lives now. Like, this is how people react to this stuff. This is what society is like. It's not. It's set up. It's faked. You can't fuck with how the world works like that,
And it's crazy because it always works out so perfectly. Like you'll get a reaction that's like, it's the type of reaction where everyone in the comments is like, oh my God, why did they react like that? That's so crazy. And it's like, because they were told to act like that for the video. That's
Yeah.
what made it go viral.
Like this one time when I did my first prank video, it was like a fucking bullshit prank where I painted that stupid mural on David's wall.
Mhm.
And I had already told Zane and Heath what was going to happen. Zane did get very drunk, and it wouldn't have mattered if I told him or not. But Heath was in the background, and they were kind of like, they weren't like shocked like how people expected them to be. And I get it. I don't even film my own videos with the camera.
Mhm.
I hire employees to do that for me. My employees at the time that were operating the camera, they didn't really know either. Like David's always like, all right, guys, like he won't tell anybody, and he gets that genuine reaction first, and he knows exactly what he wants. So I portrayed these guys as kind of like, everybody was commenting like, oh my God, look, they're scared to even laugh with David watching. And I didn't even notice this shit till you guys had told me afterwards. You're like, oh, all the comments were getting roasted. And I was like, Zane was all on one that day. He was very disrespectful the way he was saying it. So I was like, comments don't lie, motherfucker. And I was like, and then it got a little more heated. But it's like, what are you going to do? It's just a bullshit YouTube video. They're in the background of it. You're going to critique somebody's like whole life because of how they acted in the back of a prank video on YouTube. You know,
And we all play things up on camera. Did they even know that they were on camera during the? Like,
I don't
the
even
action
think
bit?
they
Like,
knew, man, because it's a different lens.
I
It's
wasn't-
like,
I wasn't there, but I don't think they knew.
a lot of the times some lenses you shoot, the background will be blurred out, like you can't even see people. But in this one, you saw them clear and they had no reaction. And it was
But
just
it's-
like,
it is tough for them
everybody-
because there was no react because they already saw it, so they already knew it was
yeah,
coming.
I was all excited. I don't do these types of
Mhm.
fucking prank reaction videos. So I showed them. I was like, look, this is getting done right now. But whatever, it's good that I come out and make a statement 7 months later so I can clear all that up.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We're all gonna die in the end, and none of these videos really matter.
That's
I
right,
mean,
Todd. At least we're leaving our mark on the
You
planet.
can leave a little
So
mark,
when the
but
aliens come and
Yeah.
we get struck by a meteor and everything's erased, but there's a few memory cards here.
That sucks.
that's why I have a little alien
And I'm
tattooed on my thigh. We're friends. Hey, we're buddies.
Would you be proud if you died and like your legacy was left on your YouTube channel? Because I like some of my songs and like music videos that I have up, but so many of my YouTube videos I would like to delete before I die,
It's funny you
Like
said
my legacy, I do not want it to be everything that I posted on YouTube. Like,
I got you, bro. I'll deactivate that shit.
thank you.
I was thinking about. I was in the festival this past weekend. I'm like a little mini mental breakdown. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking just go to my YouTube channel. I'm gonna private all my goddamn videos, and I'm gonna be done. I'm not gonna be in Jeff's videos. I'm not gonna be in Scott's videos. I'm not gonna be in anybody's videos. I'm done with this shit.
That's when you were on suicide watch because you were saying stuff like that. Why would you do that? Your videos are great.
Yeah, I think some of them are, but not all of them. And I kick myself for like putting up those shitty ones where I would like just film with my phone and I would film and cut together something just to throw something up.
Yeah,
But
but it
I
also,
feel
I
that's
talk
like-
about this with Oscar all the time. I want to delete my old stuff, but it's all growing pains, and you'll appreciate, like, people appreciate to see your growth of a creator and director, writer. So, I mean, you could delete some of them, yeah. But
There's definitely growth and change, but there's also still, for me, like if I post 3 videos in a week, 2 of them could be bad and one of them could be one that I'm proud of. Like sometimes I just don't perform the way I wish I did. It's almost like you do a boxing match and you lose and you're not proud of that fight.
yeah,
You know, it's the same thing with a video. Like sometimes I box my fucking YouTube camera, and when I put up that video, I'm sad. I lost in the 3rd round. You know, that
That's a
didn't
good way
make
to
any
look at
sense. Worst analogy
no,
ever.
I liked it.
That's because you like fighting
And YouTubing,
and
two of my
YouTubing.
favorite
there
things.
we go.
You put in one.
Nick, I was on a plane the other day and I saw this cute old couple and I started having like another crisis of mine. You know, I'm just turned 21/28 years old. You know, Jeff's almost 30. And I was just thinking about age and just getting older.
They can never tell that if you didn't tell them.
So anyway, just seeing
I'm
this
gonna do the
beautiful
podcast like this.
this beautiful couple kind of like, you know, that didn't freak me out or spook me, but, you know, started thinking more about my life and what I've done. And then basically almost, you know, 28, 30, which means I'm 40, which really means I'm 68 years old.
Huh?
You know?
You got like 2 weeks left to live, bro.
In dog years, you're fucking dead.
We're all dead.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but you got like fucking 2 weeks left, bro.
We're all just getting
Fucking
old.
enjoy it, man. You go
Riding
to
away.
EDC, go to those music festivals, live it up, man, because the clock is ticking for Todd.
Ooh, there's something. If you were gonna die tonight, what's the last, like at midnight? What would you do right now? Like, would you?
I know what
would you
Jeff would
finish this
do.
podcast?
What?
Jeff will go to One Oak. Boom, 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 boom.
Would you have a drink tonight if you knew you're gonna die at midnight?
100%. Yeah, of course. If I'm done tonight, but I know what Todd's talking about. I think about that because it's like I'm already almost 30, and then like one more round of this, I'm 60. So that's like I got like one more round of what I just did. I got like fucking 2 weeks left to live.
Pretty much.
It
It's
flies.
It
It's like
just goes faster and faster too. The older you get, time keeps going faster and faster.
So appreciate what you got right now.
Wow. Let's wrap this podcast up and go enjoy the last 2 weeks of our lives.
Guys, thank you so much for watching or listening to the Skotcast. Be sure, if you are watching, to check out the link in our description to listen on Spotify or iTunes. We also have Skotcast merch. We're going to be releasing more stuff. If you have any suggestions, please send them in. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram, both at Skotcast. We're going to be giving you updates and information about our next episodes, when we're going to be canceling, which might be on the next episode.
We could be canceling. Call it the Jeff Cast next.
Yeah, let us know down below because we listen, we read all your comments. They affect us emotionally. And if you do want it to just be Jeff Cast, I'll get rid of these. Just kidding, guys. That's too real of a joke. Can we give a shout out to Liz? You do it.
Liz. Shout out to Vanilla Ding Dong Vids. Her name is Victoria.
She's running the Skotcast. Her name's Liz, dude.
Her name is Liz.
She basically organizes our lives and puts our content on.
She's in charge.
I love the way that our outros go because we just kind of
Jeff, do you really feel the way you feel about Zane?
We gotta go, everybody.
What do you mean?
What you said about Zane earlier, do you really feel that way?
What'd you say about Zane?
What did I say about Zane, bro?
Thanks,
You
guys. Catch you next time.
Sick, man. That was a dope outro. Todd coming in clutch with the physical pain.
I wish your hand just lights up on fire. Hold it down. We should get off the camera.
Thanks,
huh?
guys. Love you.